Hey guys, Adam Fenig here with Fenig Equipment. You're tuned into the Talking Shed. Hey, as you can see behind me, we've got a 16-row Case 2150 that's in the shop here. We're putting on two different Surefire kits, one for Inferno and one for 2x2. We're putting a 750-gallon tank in front of those CCS tanks, and we also put scales underneath the CCS tanks as well. So we're going to do a walkthrough on this planter, show you what we've got planned and how this is going to turn out. So like I said, the 750-gallon tank is going to go right here in between the markers and the CCS tanks. That's going to feed the 2x2 fertilizer system, which as you can see is the totally tubular, putting it on both sides of the row back behind the packer wheel. I think that's a pretty slick system. It's extremely trouble-free. There's obviously no bearings or blades to wear out. I think on these planters, that's a great option to place your 2x2 fertilizer system. It is adjustable, and of course we've got the Y splitter right here that runs up, and on this particular Surefire system, this is where your check valve and section valve is housed. So basically we've got our Inferno and 2x2 running right here to these valves. These are T-jet valves. They simply open and close, and basically that means that we have a section on every row. So as he's going through the field, each row of fertilizer can shut off individually, just like on the seed. So the Inferno system on the case planter, as a lot of you know that have these 2150s, is placed with this Inferno shoe. We've got our hose running inside of there, and that line just simply runs up here, up to our solenoid, and then up to the Sentinels. So that's another interesting feature of this particular planter is the Sentinel. What the Sentinel is it's basically a digital readout for your red balls. So from your cab, you can watch your exact gallon per minute. So there's no looking back at red balls or anything like that. It's all done through the Sentinel, which runs up through the computer. This particular system is going to be ran with a Pro 700 from Case IH. Of course, that's going to control the fertilizer rates, the sections, and everything in between. Something else while I'm standing here unique about this planter is we put a weigh system underneath the CCS tanks. So we've got scales on that. It's a pretty interesting feature. Most of you know that Surefire is known for their metering tubes. This is one of the metering tube kits for the Inferno. So because this customer is going to be doing variable rate placement of fertilizer, both of these hoses are just different metering tubes. So same product, but different metering tubes. So each one of these hose barbs will run back to a section valve on the pump. So right here's the two pumps. So these section valves control which set of metering tubes we go to depending on our rate. So if we're at a low rate, this valve will be open and it'll be going through that green tube. If we get to a higher rate, this valve will shut and this one will open and we will go through the blue tube. So instead of flat orifices, it's all metered through the metering tubes. So it's a pretty unique way that Surefire does that. So these are the two pumps that we're running. They're the same system, Inferno 2x2. We're going to mount these back here off the back. These case planters have this huge plate, and we're going to build a bracket back off of it and mount these pumps right here to where they're out of the way. It's clean, but you can still get to them to work on them. So here's our tank. We've got that sitting in the cradle right now. And we've set it up there a few times, and we're making our tank bracket to get it put up there. So if you guys are in need of a fertilizer system, whether it's extremely sophisticated or extremely simple with some electric pumps, we can tackle that here at Fenig Equipment. So that's what we're doing today on this Case 2150. Thanks for tuning in.